What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Larry White here, and coming at you with the business building tip of the week. But I think I'm going to go off course here just because we are in such a weird time. So I think we're in week 8, depending on what part of the country that you're in. Everybody's kind of thrown off in these different sections of what week of quarantine they're in. We're seeing some odd things, right? Like I was reading this morning that eels at a Japanese aquarium have become so shy from not seeing humans during lockdown. The staff aren't able to care for their health. So now the aquarium is calling for volunteers to FaceTime the lonely eels. If that's happening with eels, guys, I can't imagine what's happening to actual people, especially if you live by yourself, like you're in quarantine and stuff there. And so I've just noticed as this past week has been kind of crazy for myself. I lost my grandfather, who I was terribly connected with and just had so many beautiful memories with. This Saturday, my daughter broke her arm. We were literally in the emergency room until almost 3 o'clock in the morning trying to figure this out. On top of that, we still have life. We still have bills. We still have business. We still have relationships. And it's really important as I found myself in a lot of these things that add more stress onto our life. Ariana and I were talking, who's my bride, or my kids and I were talking, and I had this instance to almost want to snap or lash out at them. And I meditate a lot, and I'm constantly like trying to look at things that trigger me and realize like I didn't do that, which is great, but that was kind of a first instinct. And I'm just being real with you guys because I got to work on this stuff daily. And if I'm kind of getting pushed to these limits, I think a lot of other people are as well, because we've never been in this situation before. So make sure that you're looking at the scenario and stuff that you're in, because this is what I was realizing is that it wasn't my wife, it wasn't my kids, right? There was just a lot of stress. And I think everybody was trying to do the right thing, but we all deal with it a little bit differently. Be respectful of others, be respectful of neighbors, make sure that we're reaching out to them, make sure that we're just here for each other to kind of get through this right now. As it's an odd time. So let's talk about a couple of things here this morning. In April, we saw the biggest monthly stock market gain since 1987, right? As a lot of markets are talking about reopening for real in May, and we'll see if it kind of stays this high. But literally, the S&P 500 is just 16% off of all-time record highs. Things are going bananas. Now, what I don't know is if there's another outburst, or like, let's say some markets open up and some markets don't. The markets that don't will be affected by the others. And these are things that I'm not a medical professional. I don't want to be making these choices, but we start looking about humanitarian side of things versus economic side of things. I don't know which one is right or wrong, but just something for us to think about. Instead of talking about a business building tip, I wanted to give you more of an example today, as we've been talking about how to continue, how to add value for clients. And last week, Amazon sales soared, but their shares plunged as Bezos, in my eyes, like I just want to give a round of applause to him, because he put out good PR and worker health over profits. And that's something that you don't see a lot of times in big business. So he said that this was a time to kind of, good morning over there on Facebook, wanted to be humble and sit down. And so you may want to take a seat is not exactly a phrase that shareholders wanted to hear on this last week's earning announcement. But that's exactly what Amazon told its investors to do as it reported results from January to March of this year. First off, Amazon dropped some key stats that revealed that a lockdown related to sales urge, right? So we know that everybody's spending more time, which is why Amazon's sales just spiked through the roof, right? How much? 26% is how much that Amazon sales jumped in Q1, right? Amazon racked up over $75 billion in total sales, their biggest first quarter leap ever, right? And because this is generally their slowest quarter. You're coming off of the holidays and everything else. Now, here's the crazy thing. So they're up 26%, but their profits fell 29%. What the heck? How does that even make sense, right? But Bezos took home a smaller than expected $2.5 billion in profit despite the boom in sales. And this brought in way more money, but they spent even more. Okay, so now, right, now actually take a seat, because Amazon proceeded to explain that in this upcoming quarter, it expects to make around $4 billion in profit. And then they explained to investors that they can kiss those $4 billion in profit goodbye, essentially. That Amazon plans to spend the entire $4 billion and perhaps even a bit more on corona-related expenses, like getting products to customers on time and keeping worried workers safe while they're working in the warehouses. COVID-19 testing facilities, PPE, and higher wages for their employees are all on the docket right now. And in my eyes, that's great. They're giving back. They're caring about their investors. And I think this is going to pay tenfold for those that don't see they're stepping over $1 to pick up a quarter. They're mad at Amazon for, not putting, the shareholders first. But in my eyes, that's what they're doing. They're building customers for life during this time, and it's working. Did you know that there's almost as many Amazonians as there are with people that spell their name Sarah with an H, Sarah, right? And so they hired about 175,000 extra workers to handle the increased demand. And now there's as many Americans getting an Amazon paycheck, 840,000, as there are people with the name Sarah, which is 842,000, which is kind of crazy to me. So Amazon stock fell nearly 8% since that announcement, kind of dragging down the market with it. But I guess some are bummed, but investors got up from their seats and they don't have much to say about it now. Amazon's biggest takeaways is that they don't want to profit from a disaster. They think that's just kind of a bad look, and I respect that. I gave a big shout out to my boy Dan Noma over at iReal Estate Pro for the same thing. They stopped charging their clients their membership fees for the last couple of months. They're not charging people for their certifications, and they're helping people do more business. I think that creates clients for life. And Amazon doesn't want to look like they're profiting from everybody, especially since the sales surge is clearly related to the pandemic. So for Amazon, the way customers and employees perceive it is more for the long run. And that's what's important for them versus a few $billion in profit. So to end this, kudos to Amazon, guys. Learn from this. How can you take this back into your business? How can you create customers for life? Obviously, we don't have billions of dollars to shell out from an individual basis, but we can still have that same effect on a local standard. If you guys need anything from me, call, text, or email me. Always looking for more leaders across the country to tap into some of the resources that I have that want to grow, that want to change their local real estate market. Excuse me. If that's you, make sure that you reach out to me. If you enjoy these coaching tips and stuff, sign up for free at www.jointhecoach.com. That's what I got for you guys today. Stay safe, keep business going, sharpen the axe, make sure you're coming at a peak level, and let's make sure that we get through this as best as possible. Talk to you guys soon.